Welcome to Midlife Matters. I'm Marie, and each week I'm joined by my friends Julie and Mindy to talk about all the topics keeping women in the middle years up at night. Today we're talking about 2025 trends. One of the most fun things about a new year is looking at what new things are coming our way. Today we're going to look at the predicted trends in several different areas. Let's get started. Welcome back and Happy New Year! We've missed the last couple of weeks, but we're happy to be back in 2025. And today we're going to be talking about 2025 trends. And one of the most fun things about a new year is looking at what new things are coming our way. So today we're going to take a look at what are the predicted trends in several different areas. And I know, Julie and Mindy, you guys have been hard at work to kind of make us all hip in the new year. Have you found a lot?
I've been working so hard on this.
I know it was a real sacrifice to look up fashion trends, Mindy.
Well, some of it was like, I don't know if I'm going to be hip or not. I don't know if I can get into that or not.
Oh, no.
True. I bet.
I love looking at home trends. I'm always looking at them anyway, so it's kind of fun to report back to you guys.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's just dive right in. And as Mindy, it's kind of like Mindy has fashion, health, and wellness, and Julie has home, yard, and maybe food. And I think if we listened to the I'm a fans over the years, we would probably pigeonhole them into those categories just by hearing those.
Probably.
True.
But Mindy, why don't you start us off with clothing and fashion this year? What do we have to look forward to?
Okay, well, these are styles that when I'm looking online, I'm always like trying to picture this, in Target. And I'm like, I really don't know how this is going to turn out because some of the things I talked about last year, I never saw. And then some of the things I did. So I am no expert on this subject. So this is purely fun. Go ahead and let me off the hook right now because I got all of this information between two sources. I looked at W Magazine online and Vogue online. And so I really delved into both of those. And they're taking their cues from the runway shows that just happened. And so who knows what this is going to look like? Because the very first thing that was mentioned, they labeled it alien invasion. And I'm like, this is starting off on the wrong foot. So,
this is reminiscent of 2020.
I'm like, please don't tell me. Yeah. So they're already thinking they jumped first into this whole sci-fi thing. And really all that meant as I was reading about it was that there's a lot of distressing techniques, exaggerated shapes. They even mentioned sci-fi silver, which really, y'all, that's just chrome. That's just silver. They're just they're so creative. I'm loving this. So I had to use their adjectives, sci-fi silver. And they even mentioned shreds, things that look shredded, which that just reminds me of the shirts that were cut up, the t-shirts, in the 80s, and we put beads on them and stuff. That was what was going through my mind.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So I don't know if we're going to see any aliens invading Target this season, but that was one of the categories. You have a lot to look forward to.
I don't see us getting into that.
No.
But I could be surprised.
Okay. Hopefully there's something good out there we're going to wear.
We've gone from, home on the prairie to aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's quite the change.
This whole creative world. Okay. But moving from that shredded look into the decades look is there were two different decades that were mentioned specifically that are coming back. So the 80s, I feel like the 80s are always back. But in this particular category, they mentioned large shoulders, anything that kind of exaggerates the shoulders, whether that's with a shoulder pad or not, I don't know. But think lots of tulle, polka dots. Vogue actually mentioned spots like leopard prints and animal prints, but think polka dots, prints, spots, kind of all of that. However, this does not move into the hair. So don't get excited that you get to bring back your 80s hair. Do not go buy Aquanet hairspray. Do not start teasing your hair because as much as larger, more voluminous hair is in, think Cindy Crawford, not huge 80s hair. So it's still smooth, but it's a little bigger. It's not like flat on your head here. So 80s are back.
It's interesting because I have some pictures of myself in the shoulder pads, like from when I'm early married and even a little bit before. And that really never has come back around, I don't think, in the last 30 years. Shoulder pads are kind of like perms. They've really never made a resurgence. So it'd be interesting to see if they do.
But I loved them when they were in, but
Really?
Oh, in the 80s? Yeah.
Okay. I remember cutting them out. Like,
Okay.
I've always loved blazers. This is one particular clothing item that I have loved from, I'm going to go with the 90s because that was more when I was like a teenager. But I've loved blazers, and I used to have to cut the shoulder pads out.
Okay.
And I do remember that. I have very broad shoulders, and I would look like a football player.
Well, that'll be interesting. All right, Mindy, still haven't heard anything that I'm going to run right out.
No.
I know. I could get behind the polka dots, but like I like a small polka dot.
Okay.
Okay, so the other decade that was mentioned is are the 70s. And so this is more like the bohemian 70s. So think like beaded vests, tops with ruffled collars, feather adorned hats. I don't know where this came in. Loose pajama-like sets and silk materials. Like all I could think of is Bruno Mars.
I mean, I could get behind the comfort level of that.
Yes. Let's see. Feather coats. And also think about like that halter top and like the long skirt kind of duo.
Again, I mean,
Some of
halter
that I think could be done well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing halter top.
Again, not a midlife.
A midlife friendly option.
No.
The long skirt I could get behind.
Yes, I definitely could get behind that. I don't know that I've ever owned a feather coat. Maybe I could catch the trend this time around. Are they thinking like bird feathers, duck feathers?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen one.
Okay, so they said feather. I think they're just being extra with their adjectives here because the pictures that I was seeing was just like kind of a furry, like you've seen like the Sherpa things out there, feather. I even saw a lot of leather, suede. I think they just picked feathers because they wanted to be extra. But like Vogue magazine used the beaded vest. They said like embellishments that are everyday wear. So you could wear like a workout sweater that's embellished. You know, it's like kind of dressy or whatever.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So some of the like the long flowing dresses I thought were kind of pretty with the bohemian look. Like that style kind of never goes out. You go to Anthropologie, you're going to see bohemian style stuff. So like you'll see it at the stores that you're used to. Now this particular one was kind of hilarious to me, but florals, like major big pattern florals, like think grandma's old couch or like and the way that they're doing florals though is so it doesn't overwhelm you. The pieces are either like sheer or it shows more skin.
Okay.
So like the pattern itself is really big, but they've modified the fit so that you're not like swallowed in an old drape.
It's not like a caftan or something.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean,
okay.
I see these things. I'll give them a try. Was there anything that you felt like, yes, I am going to buy this?
Yeah, I think that like one of the ways it put this one category is like dressed up but missing something was the description. Was like you can dress up your outfit. And we have already seen this, like everyday wear. We've seen women wearing like white tennis shoes with like a dress. You know what I mean? And so these things, if you take some of the elements, you would totally wear those in everyday. Like you could pull off a bohemian shirt with like jeans, you know, or something like that. Yeah. But I thought that like stripes, like think like kind of nautical stripes, you're already starting to see it. The navy and white, like that is so classy.
That's half my closet.
I was going to say, Julie's already prepared.
Julie's like crushing it. But something that's a little more like everyday is I just typed in like, well, what are the trends for jeans? Because like this is what we need to know. What kind of jeans are we going to see in the stores? And I got multiple responses. You guys, we're still going to keep seeing those barrel leg things that I am not still going to buy.
Right.
But what it said was we were going to see more of are cuffed jeans,
Okay.
wide leg trouser jeans, and then also kind of slightly slimmer shapes are coming back. So almost a variation in between like that skinny and really wide, like almost like a straight leg
Okay.
jean, a little bit more tailored looking there.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of spastic on the jeans because like last year, Abigail told me to throw away all my skinny jeans. So I got rid of them. Then I start seeing real skinny jeans are coming back. Then they have those big barrel things. Then they have the straight legs. Like they can't decide on something. Like it seemed like at least for like the last 5 to 7 years, there was at least some consistency. Now I feel like every time you go jean shopping, there's another description for them. Like they can't land on something that's hitting with the public. I don't think the barrel legs are the answer. I don't know what is going to hit with the public, but I don't think those are it.
Yeah, I don't think they fit or flatter a wide enough group of people.
Right.
You know, so I think skinny jeans will probably always be okay. And then, you know, you might have I don't know. That's how I kept my skinny jeans, but I also have some flares and some trouser jeans and, you know. The bad thing is you have to style them all differently. You can't wear the same tops with them. Yeah. Yes. And I hate that.
Yeah. That's a big pain.
It's true. Well, if I could tell you my own personal Mindy leanings, this is not anything I saw on the internet, but we have seen so many kind of that mid-level to light colored denim trend. And I'm so ready for a more tailored, straight leg, darker denim, not like dark, but like a darker denim. And so that's what I have personally been looking for. So I don't know that I'm going to be on trend, but I'm just really, really missing my darker denim.
Yeah.
So kind of a relaxed, darker look. All right. So let me tell you about the shoes.
Okay.
The shoes I didn't feel like changed a whole lot from last year. And if you have shopped at all recently, you will have seen these. But basically, pointed toe, sling bag, kitten heel, Mary Janes. Those are the things that are for a more formal look.
Sure.
When it came to a more comfortable style, they called this like Olympics kind of wannabe look. When it comes to sporty styles, that since we just went through the Olympics, like we are all wanting to wear these like sporty clothes. And they even showed like a dressed up one-piece bathing suit.
Oh.
Like they put a skirt with it.
Okay.
Or like, I'm like, okay, come on, you guys. I just would equate that to like a bodysuit, you know, and like a skirt. But basically the shoes, this is where I thought kind of 80s style again, like a chunkier shoe. A bigger tennis shoe with things. And I just don't know that I can go back to that. Like it reminded me of the old like Pumas where you would like push in the tongue of the shoe. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do think you kind of reach an age where if you can really vividly remember a trend, some of them you really don't want to go back and repeat, even if you know that other people think they're in style. You're like, no, I can't go back.
Yeah, I think you reach an age where trends just aren't that important, but you don't want to look totally out of date. So you just pick versions of these trends, subtle versions of these trends.
Yeah.
Well, let me end this whole category with talking about colors because I think this is the most fun part of fashion is looking at like what colors are we going to see in stores. This we can relate to. And one of the way those colors is going to be seen is that your pop of color will be in your coat. Like you're going to see a lot more brightly colored outerwear pieces in all different versions. So that's even with a winter coat to like a lighter jacket, to a trench, to a sweater. And so the colors that are most trending for the spring of 2025 are pastels.
Oh, okay. That'd be pretty.
I think that's going to be so pretty. And I'm already jumping on that trend because I have found a couple of things clearancing out that happen to be pastel colors, like naturally just needing something brighter with these darker days.
Okay.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah.
And ironically, though, and this might be in the home section too, Julie, you'll have to let me know, but the Pantone color of the year
Okay.
is mocha mousse. It
Oh,
is,
like a brown.
it's like a warm brown.
Okay.
And so as much as they all said the 80s are coming back, the 70s are coming back, well, browns, I think of 90s. So they're just really mixing all the decades.
Just throwing everything at us.
So as much as you're going to see all those bright colors and pastels, mocha mousse is the color of the year.
Okay. Well, now we can run out and buy some brown items. Well, thank you for doing that research, Mindy. It's not as exciting as like the year that you talked about the shacket and some other things, but hopefully there'll be some things we can get behind.
I kept looking for other lists, and I'm like, they're just really reaching this year. So I'm sorry I can't bring you some other fun items, but maybe we'll just all be invaded by aliens and have some sort of shredded.
Maybe we'll end up putting that category as an I'm a fan as the year goes on. Who knows?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll just watch you figure this out as the year goes on, Mindy.
I'm like, all I heard was pastels. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that.
Okay, Julie. Well, let's take a look at home, because a lot of times the things that we're seeing in fashion are also mimicked in the home. So what did you find for us?
Well, I combed through several sources. And, just like with anything, it's almost like anything can be a trend. You can find a lot of conflicting information. So I tried to just bring trends that I found common to all my sources.
Mm-hmm.
And most trends shared the desire to create rooms that with character and personality, with curated collections, accessories, collectibles that had meaning, a layered lived-in look was really popular, and then kind of a mix of old and new. That kind of sums it all up. But one of the biggest ways to accomplish this is with something called drenching. Have you heard of this?
Is it the color drenching?
Yeah. So like there's color drenching, which would be where you'd kind of envelop an entire room with the same color, like on the walls, on the trim, if there's cabinetry in the room, and even the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, if it's done right, it creates kind of a cocoon-like cozy feel.
Mm-hmm. And
I know in my old library, I had really dark, kind of bluish green trim, and we painted, and the bookcases were that color, like they lined two walls, but I had left the walls white. And one day I just painted the walls that color too. So I drenched the trim and the walls the same color. I wasn't bold enough to do the ceiling, but I know it made a big impact. I liked it so much better. Just to have it all the same color. And I do see that a lot, the trim and the walls matching. And they say, that's kind of always been a trend in a small space, like a powder room, but they're taking it into other rooms now. And it's specifically the dining room. That's the place to try this. And you might even see similar techniques with wallpapers and fabrics, and that's called pattern drenching. So you'll see that pattern across fabrics that match the wallpaper and the curtains and all of that. That seems a bit much to me, but the whole maximalism is a thing still. So I don't know. I really like the color drenching idea. I don't know if I could go as far as pattern and
right.
I know.
It seems like it might be a little too much.
I'm imagining like a really bright plaid that's like on the chairs and the walls and the sofas.
Yeah.
And
Well, actually, I'm picturing like those Laura Ashley rooms that you'd see in catalogs. I mean, they used to do wallpaper coordinated with, the window treatments and the soap, like every pillows, like that was kind of pattern drenching, I guess.
Yeah.
More than color drenching.
I mean, you could even make the drape into a dress and totally get on fashion trend.
So that kind of brings up to the next topic was the more and more attention is going to be given to what they call the fifth wall, which is your ceiling. So decorative ceilings are in, like moldings, beams, coffered ceilings, and even paint or wallpaper, which I've been looking at how to redo my bedroom, and I've seen a lot of wallpapered ceilings. I don't know if I could do it, but because I don't know how long the trend would last, and it's an expensive
Wallpaper
thing to do.
removing off a ceiling is.
I know. I know. I
Again,
just
I
don't
feel
know if
like
I
we
could do it.
lived through that trend and some of us did strip ceilings. So could we really go back?
Yeah,
Right.
I know. So, but I have seen it done in magazines and it's beautiful.
Sure.
Right.
When looking at trends, you do see a lot of mention of trends that are on their way out. And one of them was pertaining to wallpaper. And I was kind of bummed about this because looking to do my bedroom, I would like to use wallpaper, but it's so expensive.
Mm.
I thought, oh, I'll just do a statement wall. I'll just do a
Mhm.
feature wall. And they said, no, those are out. And I saw that in multiple places. Like,
I've
don't
seen
just
that
do,
too, Julie.
don't just do that to one wall. Like, you got to do it to all of them.
They said it's like
So
a
I thought,
dentist
oh,
office
bummer.
or something when you do that.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Bummer.
bummer. So, I probably won't be using wallpaper on all of my walls. Just because it's so expensive and the
Yeah.
removal. I mean, there's just a lot of, it's a big commitment. And then there's nothing new about incorporating hints of red into a room, but this concept was recently coined as the unexpected red theory on social media. I've never heard of that. But adding little bits of red makes a space look better. And I thought about it because that's a color I don't use much in decorating. I have a lot of blues, I have greens, I have a rust. But right now I have this red kind of plaid throw on my table for Christmas. And it really does look good with the blues and the greens. And it just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just pops and looks good. So do you guys use red at all?
I don't personally like red. Like, I don't even think I own a red piece of clothing, maybe one.
Uh-huh.
And I don't usually like to decorate with red, but my daughter recently was telling me about this theory because she was like switching out some pictures to add some red and like putting in some red books and just like red accents.
Yeah.
So I know that it definitely is out there, and I guess I would be willing to try it. I'm never drawn to red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I'm drawn to other colors, like the rust you mentioned, or a coral. So,
Yes,
but
me too.
but the actual red, I don't typically, unless it's Christmas, I don't really have like a true red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either. But maybe like the books and
Mhm.
you know, not a garish red, but kind of a deep, red would be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And with kitchens, they were talking about eating kitchens, of course, will always be in style, but they said you might actually start to see actual tables with comfortable chairs in place of islands. Now, I personally can't see a builder foregoing an island
Right.
and having that be successful because like my island has a sink or my old
Sure.
island had a stovetop, like it, and you would just lose a lot of storage. But at my old house, I did toy with the idea of taking the island out and just having a nice big, table in the middle of the kitchen, kind of like a really old kitchen. But I didn't have a place for my stovetop then, like it was
Oh,
just, it just wouldn't work. But they said you might start seeing that. So
I think that could be really pretty.
I do too.
It takes a certain type of person with a certain type of vision, and that's probably why they wouldn't start getting rid of islands and new builds, because not enough people would be able to just like see how that could work. But I could see how it could work.
Yeah, and you'd have to just create some storage in other places, and
Right.
It would almost require a complete makeover if you were going to do that in your kitchen.
Right. Right. The island's my main workspace. Like, I would rather work on the island, like putting meals together, than facing a wall, like on the exterior, And
True.
so that's really, to me, that's what I want the island for.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, and then I included this last thing with home because I had never heard of it, and it's called a wet room.
Never heard of it either.
I've seen this in Europe because this is common, but I've never seen it in a home here. And it's where you have a separate place in your bathroom where there's a freestanding tub, like it could be a cast iron tub, a slipper tub. And then next to it, there's a shower wall, but it's all behind glass. So the whole room is wet.
Oh,
Yes.
that'd be kind of nice.
I have seen that.
They said that, it's often or it has been common apparently in very large layout bathrooms, but it's becoming more common in small bathrooms as a space saver. So I don't know. I don't know if I would like that or not. And I really don't know if it would save a lot of space.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah.
They said, you could put the tub and shower like across the end wall, the
Sure.
farthest wall, and then the sink would be closer to the door.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never seen it or
We'll have
hear.
to see if it catches on.
Yeah.
The one thing that I could see that I've always struggled with taking a bath is that the air is colder because
Oh,
the
yeah,
bathtub
that's
is
true.
freestanding. Like there's no, like when you're in the shower, you get the
Oh, that's
moisture.
true.
So I could see the bath being a lot more comfortable
Yeah.
because you get the moisture kind of staying in the room, that you're almost creating a little sauna.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. And when you get out, you don't have to worry about dripping, like
Yeah.
you're in a wet space. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just clean the whole thing all at one time.
Okay. No, I could see if any of the listeners have a wet room,
I know.
please comment on Instagram or email us and let us know how you like it.
Yes.
And if you have teenagers, you may say you have a wet bathroom regardless.
Yes. It's a wet room.
It's a wet room.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also looked up garden and outdoor spaces, which, have been huge and will continue to be. And the main thing I found is that outdoor spaces are resembling indoor spaces more and more. Like people are kind of recreating living rooms top to bottom in their outdoor space. And that the furnishings are starting to be more indistinguishable from your indoor furniture. They might be waterproof and weather resistant, but they look like your indoor furniture. So people are investing a lot more in high quality outdoor furniture. Whereas, I don't know, like when I was growing up, I felt like patio furniture was almost, it was going to last a few seasons and then you'd have to replace it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that is not true anymore. Outdoor kitchens are still popular. I don't know. I just feel like that's another place to clean. I don't think I would enjoy that. But landscaping is moving away from overly fussy, contrived gardens being replaced by wildness. I like this idea.
Okay.
They said there's a big shift towards native plants only. Like we try to grow a lot of things that weren't meant to grow here. And that's where the problems come in. So they said, this could require less maintenance, be a little easier. That would be easy for me to do because I have a tiny yard. But if you had a larger yard, they said you could start in a very small space in your yard, like maybe the furthest from the house along a fence line, or, you could create a tiny little oasis in a spot in your yard, for a chair or fire pit or whatever, and keep it kind of wild. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you for researching that, Julie. I think there's a lot of interesting things. I definitely feel like they'll come in handy when you're thinking about redoing some of your rooms this next year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mindy, our health and wellness queen, what is on deck for 2025?
This was a lot more fun to look at and for me. So you can get a little more excited. The very first category was about sleep. And I know
what's your
we
favorite?
have talked so much about sleep. There is a new system out there and it's by a company. It's called 8 Sleep, like the number 8 written out, 8 Sleep. You can go to that website, but basically this is a new sleep system and it's basically promising longer sleep, more adjustable settings, not getting hot at night, not getting cold at night, but basically it's controlling temperature. And it even goes so far as to have an option to kind of vibrate and help you wake up so you're not waking up to noise. So I did a deep dive into this. I'm like, what in the world? What is this? What does it look like? So basically all it is, it's a mattress pad. So you don't have to go out and buy a new mattress, but it's a mattress pad that is a system that has like a tube in it. Think about, the Sleep Number bed idea, but this is just the pad. And it circulates water through the mattress pad. So you can set the temperature, like what you want to go to sleep to, what you want to wake up to. And then it has the option, like I said, to kind of gently vibrate you and wake you up in the morning.
I mean, this sounds intriguing. I'm picturing what if something does bring a leak, there's going to be a big mess.
Right? It's like a new waterbed situation.
I know.
Now, is it dual control or does the whole?
Yes.
Okay.
It's dual. And then here's the kicker. You have to have a monthly subscription for this to work.
Oh, I wonder why.
You actually have to pay for it. I don't know,
Is
but
it like
that
Wi-Fi controlled or something?
uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's how like you're buying it, but then you're also doing this monthly subscription. So and I think it's like
Okay.
$15 a month. But
Well, they
but
better
yeah,
be
that's
really
kind of
getting
how
8 hours then.
so and I think there's more. I could have read and read and read about this, but I was really just intrigued that sleep is the number one category.
It's great.
First.
Yeah.
All right. So after you get your good night of sleep, the next thing was called your self-care is getting social.
Oh,
So basically, clubs are opening up. There was a club called Remedy Place, one called Love Life, but basically it encourages people to come together in their self-care practices. So you can go cold plunge together with your friends. You can go with your friends into an infrared sauna. So it's almost like a gym, but instead of doing cardio, like you're getting, a hyperbaric oxygen chamber with your friends.
Okay. There's no longer just meeting for a walk. Now we're meeting for a cold plunge.
So much for solitude.
Let's go recover together. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I could see how some people might enjoy that.
I had this whole image of like the Greek bath systems, like you would go.
Yeah.
That could be relaxing and enjoyable, social.
That's what I'm thinking. I know. Okay, the next part of this category was, have you ever heard of an exosome?
No.
Okay, so I'm just going to have to read this. So exosomes are in.
Okay.
And what those are, they are the extracellular vesicles that are derived from stem cells. They contain growth factors that communicate with cells in the body to stimulate healing and regeneration. So exosomes are being used to target specific areas on your body. This can be your skin, your scalp, your joints. But if you're going to like a med spa, they're going to use this in conjunction with like microneedling. So like with the microneedling, if they're making like a very small kind of cut in your skin, then they're going to use the exosomes to penetrate the skin more deeply to improve things like skin tone, elasticity, help reduce the appearance of scars. So now you have heard of exosomes. If you see that, that is what it is.
Okay.
Interesting.
They're always coming up with something new for skincare.
Oh, yes. Yes. Are we going to still age? Yes, we are.
Oh, well, that's a new term. At least we will be on board with what it is.
Yes, at least you've heard of it, like whether you do anything with it, have fun with that. All right. Let's see. AI gets more into fitness this is no surprise to me. Involve technology with your fitness. Basically, your at-home workout, you can have more opportunity to have like an integrated trainer tell you what to do, personalize your workout at home. There's apps that you can get already, like even MyFitnessPal, if you use that for your food, if you're logging food, well, now it will actually help you even maximize your nutrition on recovery days and tell you what foods to eat because you're recovering from a workout. But it's a lot more integrated into a personal nutrition and fitness plan. So AI is definitely here to stay when it comes to fitness, wellness, things like that.
That's neat. I need to revisit MyFitnessPal because I haven't used it in so long. It didn't have any of those features.
Right.
Yeah.
I still use MyFitnessPal, but I'm sure I don't use the paid part of MyFitnessPal. So I'm sure that's part of the extra, of what they could offer. Okay, the next category is fitness, but make it fun. So this is a more social aspect of fitness with your actual workout. So like if you have a Peloton, well, now you're going to be able to do more kind of video game fitness workout. Like you're trying to reach a goal. You're trying to like score certain points. Like this has become fitness, but video game minded.
Sure. Okay.
So
must be because that age group is like moving into Pelotons and they have to get them interested.
Yeah, I think so too. Like this is just another thing. But okay. So the last category that I want to talk about is protein on protein. So we already have talked about how we are all trying to get our protein. And this is even mentioned that for women that are like perimenopausal or menopausal, this is something that we're going to be very interested in because foods that are already good protein sources are getting boosted and infused with more protein. So they're trying to help us reach our protein goals. And so think like almonds, but they have like protein power infused in them. So like at CVS, they're going to have this 20-gram Greek yogurt from Kobani or Oikos Pro. And this is just bigger amounts of protein in smaller items. So your granola bars, you're going to see this in the store, just in the yogurt, bars, nuts, things like that, cereals. And there's even a drink coming out in 2025 by Kobani that has 30 grams of protein per serving.
Wow.
Now, this did not mention how this stuff tastes. So I have no idea if we're going to be choking this down or not.
Well, that's not anything new, but it's definitely an expansion on what we already see.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Like, again, I thought the sleep maxing was probably the coolest category. Is just they know we need sleep, we need good sleep, and they're trying to find ways for us to get that without having to replace our whole mattress.
Yeah.
I was going to say sleep must be just the biggest need for Americans because I think most commercials I see or advertisements on the radio even are for mattresses and different ways to get a better night's sleep.
Yeah, and it's not like you're replacing mattresses that often compared to other products, but they do advertise them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole social aspect, I love they've continued that. I think last year we talked about having those retreats, the like quiet retreats or whatever.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Quiet vacation kind of thing. And so now I appreciate they're trying to help us recover from all this physical activity we're doing with friends. They're putting that social aspect on that recovery. So I think that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, let's take a look at food because even though we know that some more proteins coming our way, what about other categories of food, Julie? What did you find out for 2025?
I just thought it was really interesting that just like with fashion and home, new trends rise to the forefront for food and grocery shopping too. And I basically looked at Kroger and Instacart because they both shared their trends for 2025 by noticing like what was consistently and increasingly going into people's carts. And this they showed exactly the same thing. It wasn't like all over the place, like with home and other fashion. So basically, people are going to continue to try to eat healthier and concerned about wellness. And they've seen an uptick in the purchase of prebiotic and probiotic drinks like athletic greens, kefir, I think is how you say it. Kombucha, those kind of drinks. They said Gen Z and millennials who are known for a health first mindset. I didn't know that, but
I didn't know that either.
Are buying more non-alcoholic beers, wines, mocktails. The article said the stigma of opting out of alcohol is fading with Gen Z. Thought that was really interesting. Cooking and baking from scratch are on the rise. We know that sourdough had its heyday in 2020, but there are no signs of that waning. So, and that's all just the move away from processed foods. So I know I've got a friend who just sends me pictures of her beautiful sourdough bread. She's just learning. And so she said, I'm going to come over after the holidays and teach you how to do this. So, because I never got on that sourdough trend in 2020, but also just a diverse international flavors. Those are going to be really popular, like for snacking, like kimchi's really big, which I do not like. Milk teas are really popular. Those little frozen Asian buns. Another big thing is tinned fish, which I know because I read a book called Good Energy, and she really recommends this. And I thought, I just didn't think fish in a can was really ever a good idea. And but she's recommending everything from mackerel to sardines to salmon, tuna,
What
So
about the levels of mercury?
well, you have to buy the ones that are low. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I just don't think I'm going to be jumping on that. But
Yeah.
and again, that is in the ever-ending search
For
for
protein.
never-ending search for protein.
Yeah.
And so protein renaissance is what they called it. And they said think your usual sources like chicken, Greek yogurt is huge, but cottage cheese is finding its way back into the refrigerator in a very big way. And I just had to laugh. I thought I've bought more cottage cheese recently than I ever have in my entire life.
Me too, Julie.
There's 2 or 3 cartons in there all the time. So,
Do you just eat a bowl of it?
oh, I never eat it. It's always in things. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like in your eggs and in things. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll say Abby learned to mix peanut butter in with the cottage cheese, which I still have yet to try. I can't get past it mentally.
Right.
But she loves that as a snack.
Interesting.
Well,
to
and if
get
you
her-
blend it, it's a
Yeah.
lot better because you don't,
Yeah.
I don't know, the whole
See those
curd
little
thing is a little,
crunches
yeah.
or those little
Mhm.
balls or whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's just so many recipes that add cottage cheese. So.
Okay. Interesting.
And then lastly, the hydration craze will always continue with electrolyte powders.
Okay.
Like things like Liquid IV and,
Yeah. All right. We're still going to be hydrated and we're still trying to get protein in 2025.
Yeah. Let me know if you try some canned fish.
Okay. Yeah. I used to serve tuna to my kids at least once a week. And finally, everybody got so old and they refused to eat it anymore. And so then I stopped buying it and I don't ever eat it. But I suppose if I found a healthy tuna, I could try it again.
Yeah. I did buy some that was considered low enough mercury for a pregnant woman to eat regularly. So,
Okay.
Right.
and it was, it was good. And you think you're getting like what, 40 something grams of protein in this can. So
Sure.
I can force it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for looking into that. All right, listeners, I don't know what you think about these trends, but I know that you're going to think of us when you come across one. And I definitely want to see if you have bought into any of the trends. Show us a picture of your alien outfit. We would love to see it. We are going to be looking at the stores to see what alien invasion clothing comes our way.
That's what makes this fun is so you can look at things and say, I know where that's coming from.
It is. It is. We're off the prairie and into outer space.
Yes. All right. You can find us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast, or you can email us at midlifematterspodcast@gmail.com. But before we go, we want to do our first I'm a Fan of 2025. Okay, Julie, what are you a fan of this week?
All right. I'm a fan of an app, and it kind of goes along with clean eating and trying to eat less processed food. That's what got me into this. My son was talking about this a lot, and so I investigated it. It's called the Bobby Approved app, and Bobby is known for his content on social media and his YouTube channel. And he inspires you to make healthier choices, and he shares tips on how to buy good food and cook good food. And the app is designed to kind of educate you on reading labels, but that can be tricky, like reading a long label and some of the words you can't pronounce or, you don't even know what they are. So he's big on educating you what to watch out for. Like he's really, really down on seed oils, which are in everything that's prepackaged. I mean, it's very hard to find something that doesn't have seed oils. So on social media, he'll be in Costco and he'll show you different products like, this one is really high in seed oils. This one has none. Like buy this one instead, And so the app allows you to just scan product barcodes and it'll either give you the thumbs up, Bobby approved, or the thumbs down, not approved. And if it's not approved, it tells you why. And so it's not like I would never eat an item that was not Bobby approved, but if it had a little added sugar and it was like the 10th ingredient and I might eat that, but I'm kind of just trying to look for getting rid of the seed oils. And he's really, really big against avoiding the category of natural flavors. When you see natural flavors, he said that could be up to 100 different chemicals that they aren't naming and that you really have no idea what they are. And natural flavorings are in almost everything. I mean, so he's really a big advocate for trying to get more transparency in food labeling so that we know what we're eating. And Marie, the other night you asked about like, is there any cereal that's Bobby approved? Well, now I notice you can look at his shopping list. You could look at his like sweet treats, his savory treats, and he has a cereal category.
Oh,
So you
okay.
could find a whole list of things that he already does approve.
Yes.
And the neat thing is it works at Costco, Whole Food, Aldi, Walmart, Target, Trader Joe's, Sprouts. I mean, Amazon. It works.
Mhm.
I've really never found an item that didn't show up in his list.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting because Julie and her friend were telling me about this the other night. And normally I'm skeptical of this kind of stuff, but I went ahead and downloaded the Bobby approved app while we were at dinner.
Uh-huh.
And the next day I went to Kroger and I started scanning the things that I would usually buy. And it says up front, I mean, that only about 10% of grocery store items are going to be Bobby approved. So I shouldn't have been surprised to get so many thumbs down. But I could not find a cereal in the cereal aisle that was Bobby approved. It didn't matter how organic it was. I would think I found something and then there would be an ingredient in there that he'd be flagging. So I haven't had cereal this week and it's kind of depressing me. So I need to find something. But one thing I did change, easy thing, but I was reluctant. So I could not find any yogurt at the grocery store. At our little Kroger right here in the neighborhood, I couldn't find any on the shelf that was Bobby approved. So I saw that he approved some at Costco. So when I went, darn it, it was the non-flavored yogurt. And I was just about to put it back. And this woman walks by and she goes, "That's really good." I said, "It is?" I said, "How do you eat it?" Because I just couldn't picture myself eating non-flavored yogurt. She goes, "I mix a little fruit and honey and I put some coconut and then, you can put granola." And so I started doing that. You guys, it is delicious. It is actually more tasty than the other yogurt I was having, which when you really looked at it, did have quite a lot of sugar. It had the added protein, but it also had quite a lot of sugar.
Yeah, it is. I love that yogurt. And I think it's the Simple Truth Kroger Organic. And it's 18 grams of protein. And the new thing that I've discovered to top it with that is just like total dessert is pomegranate seeds. Oh my goodness.
That would be really good.
Because I don't like to chop up fruit in the morning, and frozen fruit just is not the same. It's mushy.
Right.
These,
where do you buy just pomegranate seeds? Are they dried?
No, in Trader Joe's, they come in a cup, and they're that Palm brand.
Oh.
They're called Palm Averils, I guess, instead of seeds, but they're in a little clear plastic thing in the produce section.
Oh,
so good.
Okay.
So good. They're really sweet. No added sugar, no fat. No.
Okay. I will try that. All right. So, Mindy, I think you should download the Bobby Approved app and then maybe we can have a show on it in 2025 because I feel like there's things I could talk about.
Yeah.
That sounds fascinating. I will definitely check that out. It's a free app, I'm assuming?
Yes, it is free. Yes. And there's other apps do the same, but then they have like the premium pay level for certain features. His is all free.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Okay. I'm writing it down.
What's your I'm a fan this week, Mindy?
Okay. Well, I was going to say a food item, but now I'm nervous it's not Bobby approved. So I'm going to pick something else so I can be on the safe side. But actually, I'm very excited about my I'm a fan. I happened upon a journal that is now like my favorite kind of journal. I didn't know I could have a favorite journal, but I do now. Mm-hmm. And so I found it at TJ Maxx. So it was a lot cheaper, but it's by the Rifle Paper Company.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It is just gorgeous. And so it was twice as much as my other journals that I usually buy from TJ Maxx, but it was so beautiful.
But it was twice as beautiful.
It was twice as beautiful. I am so excited to pull the journal out every morning. I bought all they had because I know it's cheaper than buying it from the company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love about this journal and the reason I bought all that they had and was willing to spend more is it is the exact right size.
Okay.
It is spiral bound.
I like that.
The spacing of the lines are a very calm kind of gray neutral tone. Like the paper is a creamier color. It's just almost a calmer start to my day. The paper's not so bright. The lines aren't so dark. The front of the cover is this beautiful floral pattern. I'm like, I love you so much. So it actually makes a difference. I actually love this journal. And I hope I find more at TJ Maxx.
Oh, I'm going to have to go look because I love that brand. I love their calendars. Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Everything by them is just beautifully done.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay. All right. My I'm a fan this week is a little tip that I discovered. So on Black Friday, I like the On Cloud Monster sneakers, but they can run pretty pricey. And so on Black Friday, I just typed into Google like on Cloudmaster sale or something. I just wanted to see. And anyways, there was a pair that I really liked the color that was $50 off at Nordstrom. But I don't have a Nordstrom near me. I only have Nordstrom Rack. They didn't have them through the Nordstrom Rack website. And so then I saw when I put them in my cart at Nordstrom, I didn't want to drive all the way to Green Hills, fight the traffic. And I guess I could have had them shipped to my house, but then if they didn't fit, I'd have to return them to Green Hills. I wanted to avoid the whole other side of Nashville. So anyways, when I put them in my cart, it gave me the choice to have them shipped to my local, very close by Nordstrom Rack. And I also could return them there if I didn't like that. And so that opens up
nice.
the whole Nordstrom website. I used to only Google on Nordstrom Rack. Now I can Google on Nordstrom or Nordstrom Rack and know that I can pick it up locally or return it locally. And that just makes a big difference in my willingness to buy.
Wow.
That's funny when you said that we didn't have a Nordstrom Rack. I was like, yeah, we do. It's in Green Hills, but
No, that's Nordstrom.
that's what it. No, but I meant that you'd considered that not near. Like I was thinking, no, we got one.
No, you got to park in that busy parking lot. I hate making my way through a mall. No, that to me is just not
Right.
worth it. It has multiple floors. I got to figure out what floor I have to go to. No, I won't.
Right.
I won't go. I will not go. I don't care if you have $50 off your sneakers. I'm not going.
Sounds like Julie will drive.
Julie can drive me there. But I will run into Nordstrom Rack all day long.
That is good to know.
Yeah. All right, Julie, Mindy, I'm excited that we got this first episode in of 2025, and I look forward to seeing what we're going to talk about this year.
It's gonna be a good year.
Welcome to the new year.
Yes. Happy New Year, listeners, and Happy New Year, Julie and Mindy.
Yes.
Happy New Year, y'all.
All right, we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. We're so happy you joined us today. You can find the show notes for this episode at midlifematterspodcast.com. Also, please tell a friend about the show and help them hit the free subscribe button on their favorite podcast app. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast. That's where we post pictures and stories about all the things we talk about in each episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.